Superheroes, a new historical series hosted by me, Dumisani Washington. We will explore the powerful and often overlooked contributions of Black historical figures. Each episode will focus on a different figure, from the days of King Solomon hosting the Queen of Sheba to modern times, highlighting their achievements and the challenges they faced. Whether it's Harriet Tubman leading enslaved people to freedom on the Underground Railroad, or Martin Luther King Jr. fighting for civil rights in the 1960s, Superheroes will showcase the incredible strength and resilience of Black people throughout history. Through the lens of these superheroes, we will reveal the ways in which these men and women triumphed against the odds time and time again, and delve into how that inspired the spirit that still continues today. Our forebears did not triumph over all they faced, defying impossible odds for us to stand here and call ourselves victims. We descended from superheroes. On Sunday, June 14th, 2008, then Senator Barack Obama delivered a Father's Day message at the Apostolic Church of God in Chicago.
We know the statistics that children who grow up without a father are 5 times more likely to live in poverty and commit crime. They're 9 times more likely to drop out of school, 20 times more likely to end up in prison. They're more likely to have behavioral problems or run away from home or become teen parents because the father wasn't in the home. The foundations of our community and our country are weaker because of this.
He also said, "We know that more than half of all Black children live in single-parent households. That percentage is now over 70%. But in 2014, economist Thomas Sowell said that nearly 100 years after the supposed legacy of slavery found most Black children, nearly 80%, being raised in 2-parent families in 1960, proving the resilience of the nuclear Black family during slavery and nearly 100 years after the Civil War. There are many factors that contributed to this stark change in the Black family, and they are well documented. But I want to take a look at how this reality was reflected in pop culture in the 1970s by considering 2 art forms: a television show, Good Times, 1974 to 1979, and a motion picture, Claudine, 1974. Good Times was a situation comedy about a Black working-class family living in the projects in Chicago, the Evans family. It starred John Amos as the father, James Evans, and the late Esther Rolle as his wife, Florida. They had 3 children: James Jr., JJ, played by Jimmy Walker, Thelma, played by Bernadette Stanis, on whom I had a huge childhood crush, and Michael, played by Ralph Carter. It's been well documented that John Amos often had creative differences with the writers and producers of Good Times. In a recent online interview with Vlad TV, Amos stated,
Their perception or their idea of what a Black family would be and what a Black father would be was totally different from mine, and mine was steeped in reality.
These clashes of culture and creativity escalated, and after 3 seasons, Amos was fired from the show. The fact that an actor, Black or white, was fired from a television show is generally unremarkable. It's the nature of show business. What is noteworthy, however, is that generally when an actor with a starring role is removed, another actor is cast in his or her place. Not in the case of Good Times, a show conceived as a sitcom of a Black nuclear family. No. Good Times would finish its remaining 6 seasons with Florida Evans as a single Black mother. Also ironically, James Evans was killed in a car accident, almost symbolizing the killing of the Black father on the show forever. This was art imitating life, as by the 1970s, the nuclear Black family was well in decline. The world would not see an intact Black family prominently on TV again for an extended period of time until The Cosby Show aired in 1984. 1974's Claudine, starring Diahann Carroll and James Earl Jones, was a commentary on one of the major forces that negatively impacted the Black family, the government. Diahann Carroll's character, Claudine, lives in Harlem and is a single mother of 6, some by different fathers. Claudine is on welfare. James Earl Jones plays Rupert Marshall, a sanitation worker who begins dating Claudine. Because of the restrictions on Claudine's welfare payments, Roop cannot be seen hanging around the house by the social worker who makes regular visits to ensure, among other things, that there is no man present. As if this tension wasn't high enough, Claudine's oldest son, Charles, played by Lawrence Hilton Jacobs, is involved in an activist group that is protesting the impact of welfare on the community. At the climax of the film, Charles and his group have organized a demonstration and civil disobedience demanding work, not welfare. I'd like to remind you that the 1963 March on Washington was called the March for Jobs and Freedom. 11 years later, Claudine depicts young black men in Harlem protesting for jobs and freedom. The cops are sent to disperse the crowd, complete with batons and riot gear, and a brawl breaks out. An NYPD paddy wagon pulls up on the street, and protesters are manhandled into the vehicle. Again, their crime? Demanding jobs so they can work. Charles tells his mother that the entire situation of racial oppression has him depressed. I just want things to change. I want to be able to feel like a real human being. I want to be able to just breathe. You know, sometimes I just start crying for no reason. Charles is the character who explains the point of the movie. The dignity, self-worth, and emotional well-being of the black families in Harlem, as in cities across the country, are being stripped away by people and a system that were ostensibly made to help them. Charles explains that he doesn't even feel like a human being. When Claudine asks Roop to say something to this boy, Charles lashes out at him.
Yeah, man, you say something to me. Tell me how niggas supposed to lay back and take shit. Tell me how to sneak around and hide. How to sit up like some goddamn dog begging when welfare ladies come around. Come on, tell me all about that, Mr. Garbage Man. Charles!
This moment in the movie captures the anger of the black child who has grown up without his father while trying to survive in a system designed for his downfall. Throughout the 2-minute scene, Roop never says a word, even after Claudine slaps Charles across the face for his outburst. Obviously, I recommend you check out both Good Times and Claudine and watch them with a critical eye. We live in a time when it is unpopular to talk about things like the importance of the nuclear family. However, most of the great challenges in our nation can be traced back to the state of the nuclear family. This is not an indictment or dismissal of single parents, especially single mothers. As Barack Obama said in that Father's Day speech, we need to help all the mothers out there who are raising these kids by themselves. The mothers who drop them off at school, go to work, pick them up in the afternoon, work another shift, get dinner, make lunches, pay the bills, fix the house, and all the other things it takes both parents to do. So many of these women are doing a heroic job, but they need support. They need another parent. Their children need another parent. That's what keeps their foundation strong. It's what keeps the foundation of our country strong. To the young men watching this, you help keep the foundations of our country strong.